So you want to open a recovery residence in Arkansas. The reasons are usually personal. Maybe you lost someone. Maybe you're in recovery yourself. Maybe you've seen the gap in your own community. Those reasons are almost always the right ones. Where people struggle isn't the why, it's the how. So in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the whole path, from idea to first resident, in 8 phases with realistic timelines, so you know what you're actually signing up for. A quick word on who we are. The Arkansas Alliance of Recovery Residences, AARR, certifies recovery residences in Arkansas against the national NARR standard. Helping operators get started is part of what we do, and our guidance is free. Keep that in mind as we go. This is a roadmap, not a recipe. Your path will differ in the details, but for most Arkansas operators in 2026, this is the sequence that works. Phase 1. Decide what you're actually building, 4 to 8 weeks, or 2. Before you form anything, lease anything, or tell anyone you're opening, get clear on 5 decisions. Who you'll serve: men, women, co-ed, parents with children, early or stable recovery, your NARR level, and for most new operators, that's level 2, monitored, your legal structure, nonprofit, for-profit, or faith-based hybrid. For most, a 501c3 nonprofit. Your capacity, 6 to 10 beds, is realistic for a first home, and your location, usually where you already live, because operating remotely is harder than it sounds. By the end of this phase, you should be able to write a 1-page summary of the home you're building. If you can't, slow down. That missing clarity will cost you later. Phase 2. Form the entity and build governance, 8 to 16 weeks. For a nonprofit, that's your Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State, a federal EIN from the IRS, your bylaws and conflict of interest policy, a board of 3 to 7 people with real skills, recovery, finance, legal, community, and your IRS tax-exempt application. Here's the part people miss. The governance matters more than the paperwork. A strong board helps you recruit residents, raise money, and survive your first crisis. A board you threw together to check a box will create problems instead of solving them. Phase 3. Find and secure a property, 8 to 16 weeks. Confirm zoning before you sign anything. Look for an established residential neighborhood with enough parking. Negotiate a lease with recovery housing appropriate terms, and get commercial general liability insurance in place. This is the phase where new operators make the most irreversible mistakes. A bad property decision is much harder to undo than a bad governance decision. Take your time here. Phase 4. Develop your documentation and policies, 4 to 8 weeks, and this can run alongside your property search. Your resident agreement, house rules, a resident handbook, drug screening policy, incident reporting protocol, relapse response protocol, a good neighbor agreement, and your non-discrimination and privacy policies. You do not have to build these from scratch. AARR provides templates for nearly all of them as part of certification technical assistance. Phase 5. Build your operating infrastructure, 4 to 6 weeks. Bookkeeping. QuickBooks Online is the Arkansas standard, with separate tracking for resident fees, grants, and expenses, a payment platform for fees, drug testing supplies, an application and intake process, and open channels with your referral partners. Keep it simple, write the workflow down, and tighten it over time. Phase 6. Begin certification. Most operators wait until they're already running to start. The better move is to begin certification in parallel with your governance work back in Phase 2, because the framework helps you make better decisions the whole way through. Certification runs through a pre-screener, a full application, a documentation review, and a site visit. Most operators finish in 60 to 120 days once the paperwork is in order. Phase 7. Soft launch with your first residents, 4 to 8 weeks. When the property's ready, the policies are in place, and certification is in motion, bring residents in slowly. 1 or 2 the first couple of weeks, a few more the next. Build to 60 or 70%. Adjust based on what you've learned. Then fill. Operators who try to fill every bed in month 1 learn the wrong lessons too fast. Phase 8. Stabilize. 3 to 12 months. Now the work shifts from setup to operation, tracking occupancy and outcomes, building referral relationships, managing your budget against plan, and plugging into the broader recovery community. Most homes need 6 to 12 months to truly stabilize. So the honest total timeline, from idea to first resident, is 6 to 12 months for most operators. Faster usually means cutting corners that come back later. And year one is harder than most people expect. Cash is tight, referrals are slow, and the first crisis always feels enormous because it's the first one. That's normal. Operators who push through year one usually find years two and beyond meaningfully easier. Here's the most important thing I can tell you. You don't have to do this alone. Helping you navigate this is part of why AARR exists. Technical assistance, templates, peer networks, certification support, all of it. Operators who work with us from the planning phase do measurably better than the ones who try to figure it all out by themselves. Arkansas is in a real moment for recovery housing, and the operators who build now and build it right have the wind at their back. If you're early in planning, the next step is a conversation with us. We'd much rather help you build it right than help you fix it later. The full written roadmap is linked below, and you can reach us at the website on your screen. We'll see you out there.